Good afternoon, Atlanta. Welcome back to Veterans Today. You're listening to the WCEG Network on WCEG Talk Radio, your worldwide empowerment group. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and our call-in number is 678-619-1402. And also you can watch us on YouTube at WCEG Network. I am Herman Anderson, and we're back.
I'm Anthony C. Aiken.
I'm Gustavo Julião.
It seems as though Herman and Gus, we got a phone call coming in. Let's see who that is. Hello, who's on the line?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, yes. Who's
Loud
this?
and clear.
Who's this?
This is Frank Todd.
Hey, Franklin, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Well, great. We're glad that you're calling in from the great state of Texas. And I see we have a great guest in the studio. It's a good friend of yours.
Well, that's Mr. Wallace Larry Jones.
And Frank, don't use the other names now when we talk, okay?
Well, I'm sorry, Larry Jones.
Larry,
I'm not going to use that. I'm not
No, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we're grown up now.
Right, that's us now.
Yeah, we can only use that when we're face to face or one-on-one on a call.
There you go.
I called my son last night, and you made an impression on him a long time ago, and I asked him did he still remember you, and the answer was uncategorically yes.
Good. I am so happy. So happy.
Thanks for taking him out to the airplane and teaching him this is what we're about, and just made a lasting impression on him. And I got to tell you, Larry, I am so proud of you that I read your bio, and you and Anthony just make me proud to be an old Tuskegean.
Well, just think about it, Frank. I am a part of you. I'm the extension of you, is what it is. You don't know the impact that you made on so many people, not what you said, but just the way that you carried yourself in life, which was very, very impressive.
Well, God's been kind to me, and I say those that I touched, I hope I made their lives a little better, but it just says that you can make a difference as you walk through life, and you and Anthony and a few others, I could say, exceeded all of the expectations that one would have of a little old country boy. Anthony was a city boy.
Well, now that you're going there. Yeah, well, a lot of our listeners don't know who this gentleman is on the phone, but this is Franklin Todd. Franklin is a Tuskegee graduate, a very distinguished career, retired as a full colonel, and as Larry indicated, was in Europe when we were both young captains watching him. Mm-hmm. And folks, this gentleman on the phone was inducted into the Tuskegee Institute Military Hall of Fame in year 2016 because of his impact that he's had on so many during our lifetime. So, I'm very, very happy that you took the time in to call in to speak to two of Uncle Booker's little boys, that matriculated at the same university institute that you attended, and the impact that you had on our lives. So thank you very much for calling in. Are you there?
So I'm here now. My phone in the house was back in my office. Is where it just doesn't want to get good reception. So now you ought to be able to hear me loud and clear.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we did. I hope you heard what we said about you. That kind of thing. So do you have any questions for Larry? Anything like that before he leaves?
No, I'm not. I just continue doing what you're doing, and you make all of us very, very proud.
Appreciate it, Frank. Appreciate it.
Okay, he's out of here, so thanks, Frank, for calling.
Okay, safe travel, Larry.
Okay.
I'll ring off, and I will join on many of these in the future.
Thank you very much for calling. Appreciate you calling.
Very, very very, very intelligent group, and just a lot of knowledge passed on. So I will be on and continue to learn from you.
Please pass the word and let folks know that they can listen to us every Friday from 12 to 2, and we have many different guests. And we'll call you to have you come on the show.
Well, getting to Atlanta is tough.
Oh, no, we can call you. We can call you.
Okay.
All right, thanks a lot.
These days, we'll do it.
Appreciate you.
Well,
thank you very, very much.
To our listening audience, we just had a great call in that makes the show greater, and another veteran that's giving us knowledge and empowerment, and we thank him. And again, you're listening to WCEG Talk Radio, your worldwide community empowerment group. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and call and join the conversation at 678-619-1402, and watch us on YouTube at WCEG Network.
I'll tell you what, Herman, that first hour, for those that missed it, you'll be able to see it on YouTube or Facebook Live, but Larry Wallace gave us some unbelievable statistics in regards to what he does in helping veterans with PTSD issues, drug issues, mental health issues. One thing he stated was, we tell the truth here.
That's true.
And that's what we're all about, telling the truth. And it was so enjoyable to hear him and to have a call in, Franklin Todd, to talk to him a little bit before he left. But Herman, if you allow me, one thing that I'd like to bring up is something that we always talk about, but we need to talk about even more. And that's understanding women veterans and the VA. Because there's a culture that was in the Atlanta Constitution newspaper last week about a culture of harassments. And today we're examining the problem women veterans face getting treatment at the VA. The statistics are alarming. When you take a look at it, look by the numbers, look at that. They state that 8% of the users in the health care at the VA are women. 8%. That's
8%.
8%. In addition to that, 30% of female veterans who have been seen reported that they have been harassed or assaulted while in the military. 30%. Guess what? The number gets high.
It's getting higher and higher every day.
And 40% of female veterans who use the VA are diagnosed at least one with some type of mental health condition.
Yeah.
Those numbers are staggering.
It is staggering.
And there are far-reaching challenges that the female veterans are still facing, even today. And in some of their own words, Herman and Gustavo, they stated that you felt like you were a piece of meat.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
My name is not Hey Baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm a person. I serve with dignity and honor just like you. So I'm not a Hey Baby.
And where is this happening? The Hey Baby deal.
You know what I mean? And that's a model that they're facing. And the women really need to be able to continue to speak out for their own identity, because they are serving with integrity, dignity, honor, and have a rightful place in the United States military system.
Yeah.
They're feeling out of place. And now how do we change that culture?
And to tell you the truth, it didn't seem that way when we were in the military. It didn't seem that it was that prevalent. Maybe it was, and we never knew because it was all hush-hush. But I tell you what, how can we expect, women to be able to serve as well as men do in the military when they're going through this type of stuff?
Well, they're saying that it's an entrenched sexist culture at many of the VA hospitals that are driving away female veterans. In addition to that, the VA lags far behind in providing adequate care for female veterans. And this culture of harassment has to change.
That needs to be looked at, and quickly, because no one at VA should be feeling harassed, much less females.
Well, I think as Mr. Jones says, some of it was going on all along, but the female veteran was not making it known to, because they felt like they wouldn't get any support anyway. So that's an issue that need to be addressed all the way up.
Yeah,
they're being checked out by their height, their body size, their weight, everything that they're going through. And one woman said a guy told her that, I'm checking your height, your weight, and your skin color just in case I need to report to you. Now, is that insane?
In case I need to report you.
Report to you.
Oh.
That you might be my boss. So I got to check you out.
Yeah, I got to check you out.
That is insane.
That's so, I tell you.
And if that culture doesn't change, I don't know what we're going to do. We've already had 4 VA chiefs in the last 3 years. 4. For a variety of reasons. And right now, I don't see anything really moving in that direction. They're still lacking money. They're still lacking staff. They're still not really hiring key positions.
I'm flabbergasted, man.
And it's just amazing to me.
Well, I think it's not only the VA, it's also the active military. So that need to be looked at also, because you have a lot of the female people that are in the military. They don't see anything until after they get out, because they know within the system they're not going to get any support.
That's why I particularly think that the Congresswoman that is championing this change on the structure of the chain of command when it comes to sexual harassment, I agree with her. The military command needs to be outside of the reporting system. Once it's reported that she has been sexually harassed or sexually assaulted, the commander, the first sergeant, the sergeant major need to be out of it. And a civilian entity should take over. And, it should go from there. Even though it is within the military, but it should be guided by a civilian entity.
Well,
not necessarily the military.
Well, I think so, because whether it's in the military or whether it's in any organization, education or corporate, if you feel like the person that you're filing the complaint with is your boss, or they going to be your boss, you hesitate to do it, number one.
Of course.
And number two, if you do it and you don't know what their reaction is going to be, they could, take hold it against you or whatever. So
yeah, they sooner or later that will come up, within your career time with them. It will come up in one of those NCOERs or OERs. The deal that you reported somebody else will come up.
No doubt about it.
And the thing that, we need to be careful with you because you did this or you did that. It happens all the time in civilian life. So what makes it so different that it's not going to happen in the military, But that's women at VA getting harassed. That needs to be checked out by the IG. That's
Well, it's if it doesn't change, it's going to implode. We're seeing all kinds of issues now with veterans exploding because of lack of care, lack of support, lack of access. 2 months ago, a decorated Marine colonel took his life in a VA parking lot.
At the VA parking lot.
In full dress uniform, sitting on his medical records. Mm-hmm. And that's a male.
And that should tell you something. When a colonel, takes his life at the VA parking lot with his medical records in hand, and he hasn't been able to get the service that he, required, what do you expect for that private that is not necessarily mutilated, that his injuries are internal injuries, that his mental state is not something that you can see just by looking at him? If he doesn't have the services that he needs, the mental care that he needs, what do you think is going to happen to him?
Yep.
Well, another point is whether it's a colonel or whoever, it sends the signal to our leaders in charge that you are not taking care of veterans.
Exactly.
So that's important.
The fact that he was a colonel doesn't change that he was a patient.
And he had issues.
He was a patient that had issues that were not addressed and that they were not taken care of. And that is the problem.
It's kind of depressing to me, guys, as I'm sitting here listening to you too. It kind of brings you down because here we are in the year 2019. President Mr. Obama in 2015 had a drive to end homelessness by the end of 2015.
Yeah.
Didn't meet all that goal.
Yeah.
Then we talked about incompetence in the VA hospital system, and we needed to get rid of some leadership. That didn't happen all the way. Then we told we got a new guy coming in to make change in the culture of the VA. That's 4 chairs ago, 4 cabinet
that is
ago.
Answering to some guys in Mar-a-Lago somewhere. That are not related to VA in any way, shape, or form.
None.
But they are directing, VA because they want to privatize VA.
It's just amazing that we still have these issues. We still have veterans from Vietnam still battling issues. I just spoke with a relative of mine who served in Vietnam for a year, an infantry officer.
Mm-hmm.
2019, the year. Now, he didn't know anything about Agent Orange. And he was boots on the ground fighting.
Yep.
In a unit that was always on alert to go and fight.
Yep.
In 2019, this month, March of 2019, he's just filing a claim for Agent Orange. Didn't know anything about it.
Didn't know anything.
So the VA is not doing a very good job.
No, they're not.
In advertising support and benefits and compensation.
They don't tell you what your benefits are because they don't want you to get it.
Well, that's true, and it shouldn't be. They shouldn't be advertising. They should be telling veterans. That should be part of the transition process. Is that you know what's available when you are discharged from the military.
It is not like VA doesn't know who a veteran is. They have all your stuff.
Yeah, they do.
They have, every time you retire, you get discharged, you get whatever. VA gets a note saying, hey, this guy now belongs to your roles.
Well,
he's not an active service anymore.
Well, see, let's take Agent Orange for example. If the VA really wanted to notify everyone that had the possibility of being exposed to Agent Orange, like say they have our Social Security number, they have our information, they can look you up and tell you. It's that they don't want to.
It's as simple as that. They can look you up and send you a note saying you need to report to VA because this, and that are your benefits.
They've already designated the time frame. They got the map that shows if you were in one of the 4 corps.
Yeah.
All of this is out there.
So
that should be part of your processing.
They don't want to do that because they need funds for other purposes.
Well, it should be part of, in the case of us, we've been out 50 years. But if they still could look at our records and notify Vietnam veterans that you're not in the Agent Orange database and it's a possibility that you were exposed to it and you owed compensation.
Exactly.
Take care of the veteran.
But the thing is that is too good to be true. Let me put it that way.
Yeah,
it is too good to be true.
You're exactly right.
That they would just, come up and say, we are responsible for this, so we are going to take responsibility.
Exactly.
And we're going to let you know that, hey, you might have been exposed to this, so you need to come over here so we can check you out.
Let's change the subject a minute because we don't have much time. Herman, I know that you have some information about some upcoming things and events that you need to let our listeners know about it.
One thing, I have a special guest, Reverend McGee, is having a celebration tomorrow. It's at 3 p.m. and the address is 2492 Martin Luther King Drive, and it's to rally community support for veterans in the community and also to continue to push his drive to get veterans to vote and get involved in the election process. That's tomorrow at March 23rd, and it starts at 4 p.m., 4 to 6, and the address is 2492 Martin Luther King Drive.
One thing I'd like to do mention, I wasn't on the show last week, and I watched it, guys. You guys are great. And
don't we always?
I'm telling you, you guys were great, but the ladies made y'all look even better.
Oh, yes.
So
yes, they definitely did.
I just want to say that Miss Penny Rogers, Miss Sparkle Adams,
yes,
who was part of the Ben Hill United Methodist Church Veteran Ministry, came on and she talked about the Veteran Information Section.
She did her thing.
And I want to let you know, I did go by there on Wednesday, and the turnout was tremendous.
Miss Kathleen Harris, too.
Tremendous turnout, and they had some very interesting topics. One, they had the Clayton County Veterans Court.
Yeah.
They had a representative from there. They also had the U.S. Postal Service inspector there to talk about issues, that veterans were facing and fraud and abuse against veterans. That was just off the chain. And I just want to give a shout out to you guys for the great show and for the Veteran Ministry at Ben Hill with Sparkle Adams and Mary McNair, and the great job they did in bringing the community together for that event.
And we will also like to thank Colonel Retired Kathleen Harris for being here last Friday, too. They were awesome. They were awesome.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, and the reviews show it.
Yeah, the reviews show it.
They show it. That was just a great show. So I salute you guys. Hey, you guys got saluted.
Well, we thank you.
So you're listening to Veterans Today on WCEG Network, on WCEG with the Worldwide Community Empowerment Group. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and now follow us on YouTube Network.
I tell you what, that YouTube thing is great. I've not only looked at our show, but all the other shows under the WCEG Network family.
That's right.
Well, that's true, and we want to mention that the WCEG Network family has shows on daily, different shows, and we encourage you to look at it on WCEG Network YouTube, and it's we have some information that being streamed at this time.
Oh yeah, it's just good to know that our listeners worldwide, and I mean worldwide, are listening to us. And I'm just pleased to be working with you two amigos as we come together, and we have a great engineer, and we got to give him a shout out. This young man is taking us to a whole new level of the things that we're doing, and we need your support, folks. This is a nonprofit group. We're not paid.
Yeah, we're not.
We're not paid, and Ms. Rogers, our leader, our visionary, she needs support. And Herman, why don't you give that byline and what they need to do?
We're a 501(c)(3) nonprofit community radio station, and all of your donations are tax deductible. And you can call Miss Penny Rogers. Her office number is 404-490-8646. Again, 404-490-8646. And we are working on a marketing promotional package that we should have in a few more weeks, and we will gladly take your donation. We will also gladly work out a way to have a partnership with you.
I tell you what, we couldn't do it without your support. We couldn't do it without your encouragement. So please share the word, continue to spread the word about WCEG Network, and also about Veterans Today Talk Radio. This is our passion. And today we were thoroughly enjoyed Wallace Larry Jones coming in, a former Air Force pilot, and we learned some great things about him and the work that he's doing now in the area of mental health and PTSD and sexual trauma around the country.
And substance abuse.
And substance abuse. Even though he lives in the Dominican Republic now, he comes back and forth and empowers his knowledge to help those in need.
That's good.
So we've enjoyed the show, gentlemen. It's been a tremendous show. We've had great guests. Again, we'd like to give a shout out to our engineer. He's good, isn't he, guys?
He's good.
And he didn't entice us with any of that great food that he brings in this week.
No, he doesn't, dude. He's like, hey, guys, I'm eating my stuff.
So we want to thank him for everything that he does. And folks, take the opportunity to go on YouTube, look at some of the past shows, and also on Facebook Live. Continue to spread the word as we try to increase our base and to also support the WCEG Network family.
Again, this is Veterans Today on WCEG Network, WCEG Talk Radio. It's been a great Friday. We had a great guest, and we will see you again in 2 weeks. Next week we're off.
Okay. Remember, my friends, if you have a friend that needs an ear, please just listen. Listening sometimes is the only thing that is needed. You may not need to say anything. You may just need to sit there and listen to your friend. That sometimes is the best thing that you can do for someone that is in need.
Support a veteran and their family. Thank you. Out.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Have a great weekend.